Questions concerning the mental plane. 20. What is the power of the imagination? The power of the imagination is an attribute, a quality through which we imagine alive visually, acoustically, perceptively, or altogether, as well as through taste, smell, some kind of circumstance, a person, being, idea, topic, thought, picture, quality and attribute of a matter, etc. This applies especially to the exercises, but also to everyday life. The quantity of the imagination expresses itself in the intensification, lessening and waning of the imagination. 21. The difference between an imagination and an elemental. An imagination is a true image of what we imagine. Reality is that which we create with the help of the will, concentration, the power of the imagination and manifested belief respectively. In contrast to this, an elemental is a being that we create in a magical manner from the mental substance and from particular elements and which we provide with a name. This being has a part of our consciousness, carries out certain tasks, has an instinct for self-preservation, and nourishes itself from the mental substance which we emanate into the mental world, consciously draw from, and also give to the universe. 22. With what does the mental body nourish itself? The mental body nourishes itself with thoughts from the mental plane and with pictures and impressions with the help of the senses. 23. How does the spirit express himself in the astral world and in the material plane? The spirit expresses himself in the astral world through his astral body, the soul, and with his attributes and powers in the tetrapolar magnet. On the material plane, the spirit expresses himself through the astral matrix, out of which the soul emanates in various colors in accordance with the polarity of the effects of the elements. This emanation of the attributes is called the aura, which at the same time exposes the fundamental character of a human being in accordance with the elements. On the material plane, the spirit expresses himself through his material body with all the functions of the elements that are identical with the functions of the astral body. For the most part, these are the attributes analogous to the effects of all the elements in the tetrapolar magnet, through which the spirit expresses himself on the material plane in time and space. 24. What are concentration, meditation, fixation, contemplation, and fantasy? Concentration is an uninterrupted hold or adherence to a point, matter, being, abstract concept, idea, picture, thought, perception, etc. Concentration is divided into 3 levels in accordance with periods of time. The first level is an uninterrupted concentration of 12 seconds and is called dharana. The second level, dhyana, has a duration of 12 times 12 seconds, while the third level has a duration of 12 times 12 times 12 seconds and is called samadhi, which means ecstasy, the flowing together of subject and object. Meditation serves the purpose of disassembling or analyzing a matter, an abstract concept, an idea, thought, picture, etc., in all its aspects and details, and also analyzing the matter on all planes in the well-known manner with the will, the intellect and the feelings, analysis. Fixation is the exact measuring, stabilization and uninterrupted holding onto of a particular object, thought, point, etc., during concentration. Contemplation is the consideration or reflection upon and analysis of a particular object, matter, idea, being, picture, impression, thought and its attributes in the different spheres. For example, if we want to be certain that a picture or an object is real, we first look at it with open eyes and then with our eyes closed. If the picture does not change and disappear, it is a reality. If otherwise, it is a delusion. Fantasy is often ignited through the beauty of an object. It has a stimulating effect upon our senses, and this is increased through various stimuli. Fantasy always has a personal, subjective, relative, and individual coloration and direction in accordance with mood and temper. 25. What can be substituted in place of the exercises? We can substitute meditation, autosuggestion, belief, prayer, introspection, noble deeds, asceticism, wisdom, knowledge, silence, love and humility in place of the exercises. 26. What purpose do the exercises serve? We ennoble, perfect and strengthen our spirit, soul and physical body through the exercises. Most of all, we strengthen all the active, positive, attributes and powers of all the universal elements which work in and around us. Through the exercises we realize divine ideas in and around us, beginning with the lowest and progressing to the highest, until we become one with God. 27. How is the akasha principle effective on the mental plane? On the mental plane, the akasha principle is effective as the causal world without time and space. It is the highest, most incomprehensible power. Although uncreated, it created everything and also guides everything. In a human being, the akasha principle appears on the mental plane as the highest, most leading and guiding principle, as well as in the mental matrix and in the consciousness. It also appears as the controlling divine principle of the conscience as it pertains to intuition, inspiration, belief, and the instinct for self-preservation. The akasha principle is an obstacle on the path of our exercises on the mental plane through thoughts, pictures, and imagination, which of course disturb our exercises, but which on the other hand strengthen our will. The mental matrix is the finest substance of the spiritual akasha principle. It connects the mental body with the astral body and transfers all thoughts, plastic pictures, and impressions to the consciousness of the spirit. The akasha principle expresses itself on the mental plane in electric, magnetic, electromagnetic, and indifferent neutral thoughts. In thoughts, you find fundamental ideas that originated in the causal world of the akasha principle. The akasha principle works by means of these ideas through thought upon our consciousness and subconscious, through which these ideas are accepted and processed, realized or refused. 28. What is the purpose of fate on the mental plane? All thoughts, pictures, impressions, etc., that belong as causes on the mental plane enter and register themselves carefully and precisely in the causal world on the mental plane. In accordance with their inner value, they can form positive or negative effects or consequences that belong to them and are lawful, and which of course have a tremendous influence upon the character, attributes, of a person. The reminiscences or reflections and effects return to a person to ennoble him when he is positive. When he is negative, they attack him until he has equilibrated his errors and their causes. 29. What is the difference between spiritual maturity and a high development of the spirit? A mature spirit has reached the level of recognition and conviction. He has become a part of the divine principle and he searches for means and sources in order to identify himself with this, the highest divine principle. A highly developed spirit has already identified himself with the divine principle, and continues on the path of the highest ennoblement and perfection. 30. How do the mental and astral materia affect the spiritual senses? The mental and astral materia are effective through impressions, perceptions, upon the spiritual senses, which reach the consciousness of the spirit from all planes by means of the mental matrix. In the mental matrix they are effective without being limited to time and space. On the astral plane they are effective in space. The spirit processes these impressions with the help of the elementary functions of the tetrapolar magnet in the mental and astral bodies.